Hello, Academy Elementary. This is Mrs. Chaney, and I'm here for something that we are going to do every night that's going to be so exciting. We are going to do story time. So as you know, we didn't get to start our Monday off together like we normally do, where I get to greet you at the front door, because you got to spend a little bit of extra time with your parents, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I know that I have enjoyed my special day with two of my little boys at home, and I hope that you've had a wonderful day with your parents too. But I've missed you, and so I figured it would be pretty cool if maybe I could read you a bedtime story every night this week. And so tonight I have a special book picked out that's been one of my favorites since I was little, and I have a special guest. So first I want to tell you about this book that I chose. This book is called No Roses for Harry. Have you ever read this one? It's really great. Harry is this dog, and can you tell he's wearing a sweater? A green sweater with yellow roses. So my special guest that I have for you is a special dog of my own named Trooper, and he's going to be here tonight. Come here, Trooper. Come here, come here, come here. I want you to see Trooper. He is our really big Labrador. He's almost 100 pounds, friends, and he's going to be here for story time. And so I hope that you enjoy story time with me and with Trooper tonight. So here we go. No Roses for Harry. This is written by Jean Zion. Remember, the person that writes the book is the author, and the pictures or the illustrator is Margaret Graham. Harry was a white dog with black spots. On his birthday, he got a present from Grandma. It was a woolen sweater with roses on it. Harry didn't like it the moment he saw it. He didn't like the roses. When he tried it on, he felt cozy and snug, but he still didn't like the roses. He thought it was the silliest sweater he'd ever seen. The next day, when Harry went downtown with the children, he wore his new sweater. When people saw it, they laughed. When dogs saw it, they barked. Harry made up his mind then and there to lose Grandma's present. When they went into a big store to shop, the children took off his sweater and let him carry it. This was just what Harry wanted. I think he has a plan, guys. Can you tell what he just did? He left the sweater on the table. First, he tried to lose it in the pet department. But a kind man found it and gave it back to him. Look, his owners just couldn't believe that he would lose his sweater. Then he tried to lose it in the grocery department. He's a sneaky little pup. Lost it underneath the grocery basket. But a lady found it and was kind and gave it back. He tried to lose it in the flower department. He even camouflaged it with the roses. Put it right underneath the roses in a pot. But a little boy found it and gave it back. The children didn't let Harry carry it anymore. They made him wear it. As they started home, Harry was beginning to think he'd never lose it. When he got home, his friends were waiting to play with him, but Harry didn't feel like playing, so they left him alone. As he sat wondering what to do, Harry noticed a loose stitch in his sweater. Do you know what a stitch is? A stitch is something that you sew together to create a stitch when you form a sweater, and so he noticed a loose, almost like a loose string on his sweater. He pulled at the wool, just a little at first, then a bit more, and a little bit more. Harry didn't know it, but a bird was watching. In a minute, Harry had pulled out quite a long piece of the wool. The end of it lay on the grass behind him. Suddenly, the bird flew down. What do you think this bird's going to do? Quick as a flash, she took the end of the wool in her beak and flew away with it. It all happened before Harry could even blink. The sweater began to disappear right before Harry's eyes. First one leg, then the neck, then the other leg, then the back, and finally, the whole thing was just one long piece of wool flying off into the sky. The sweater was as good as gone. Harry could hardly believe it. He barked and jumped with joy. Then he ran out of the yard. He ran down the street barking thank you to the bird over and over again. The bird and the wool were just a tiny speck in the sky, but Harry kept following them. He's trying to get his sweater back now. He came home thirsty and tired and was having a drink in the kitchen when the children ran in. "We got a letter from Grandma," one of them said. "She's coming to visit us," shouted the other. Harry thought of the sweater and his tail drooped. Oh no, what is Grandma going to think? Before Grandma came, the family looked everywhere for the sweater. They wanted her to see how nice Harry looked in it. Of course, they couldn't find it. Only Harry knew why. Oh no. When Grandma arrived, Harry ran to her with his leash. Then he sat up and he begged. Normally when Trooper brings his leash to me, do you know what that means? He's ready to go on a walk. Wonder why Harry is trying to take Grandma on a walk. "All right, Harry," said Grandma. "After I've had my lunch and a nap, we'll go for a walk." That afternoon, Harry and Grandma and the children started off on their walk. Harry barked happily and pulled towards the park. When they got to the park, Harry pulled harder. The children let him off his leash, and he ran on ahead. He seemed to be looking for something. All at once, he stopped under a big tree. He looked up and began to bark and wag his tail. Grandma and the children came running. What do you predict could be in that tree? What kind of animals live in a tree? Maybe a bird? They got to the tree and looked up. Suddenly, one of the children said, "I see a nest." "It's made of wool," said the other, "and it's the very same color as Harry's sweater," they shouted together. "It is Harry's sweater," exclaimed Grandma. Just then, a bird looked out of the nest. "Look, Grandma, look," shouted the children. Harry gave his sweater to a bird. "I wonder how he did that," said Grandma. The bird sang and Harry wagged his tail even harder. At Christmas, Harry got a present from Grandma. It was a new sweater. Harry liked this one very much. When he tried it on, he felt as cozy and snug as the bird in the nest. But best of all, it was white with black spots, which matched him perfectly. And that is the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed story time tonight with me and with my sweet pup Trooper. And I hope that tomorrow you are excited for another story. We'll be back again tomorrow on our Facebook page at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, play outside with your family, enjoy some special moments with them, and tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day, so I might have a special book for you. Have a great night. I miss you and I love each of you so very, very much. Good night, friends.